All right, everyone, we will get started today on today's webinar. I think that I appreciate all of you joining us. There are probably a few more going to pop in, but we will go ahead and get started. So once again, this is week 4 of this week's invoicing settlements month. And today we are going to talk a little bit about navigating TruckLogics and how to locate your invoices and your driver settlements. And of course, this is once they are created, because as you know, if you're using TruckLogics, we automatically create the invoice and the settlement for you as we start by you entering your load and your dispatch. So today we're going to close the series out on invoicing and settlements, and if you have any questions at the end, we will do that. But a little bit about me: just over 30 years in the trucking business, in and out of a truck. I have been with TruckLogics for just over a year, and I love working with a team that we have here that has been put together to provide this product for whether you're an independent truck driver, a broker, or all the way to fleets of any size. So glad to be on board here and helping clients like yourselves. Today's webinar, again, it's the 4th in the series about invoicing and settlements in TruckLogics. Today, we are going to focus on where they appear in TruckLogics, and then where those settlements are also where we can find them as well. And then we're going to show you a little bit of where a driver payment report and where to find that and how to locate that. And of course, like I mentioned, at the end, of course, we have every week our weekly webinars end with a question and answer period. So hold your questions until that moment when we ask for them. And then also, if you have any other questions, we'll give you another opportunity elsewhere to reach out to our wonderful staff to help with those. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our live, my demo account here for the webinars. And hopefully you can see now what I'm looking at. This is the home dashboard of Webinar Trucking, which is our account here that we've created just to show it during the webinars. So as you see, the active loads, dispatch loads, upcoming maintenance invoices is all in here. We are going to look for where do invoices appear and where can they be found. So they can be found in multiple places and multiple ways to get to them. But the first way to remember this is loads are always associated with invoices, and the driver settlements are always going to be part of the dispatch. So, well, let's go directly right into the loads. Now, you can go to a loads this way and click here, but we're just going to click the loads tab. We are going to search just all loads and see what comes up here. Switch this to previous year to date. So this is all of our loads that we've created in our thing and in our site here. So Dirt 1, we'll just pick this one. Looks like this is Jerry's Trucking. Going to go straight to this tab right here, and this is where you would locate the invoice. Now again, this invoice was automatically generated by TruckLogics based off the freight details when you set up your load before you dispatched it. So this is one way. Now this one has been paid already, so this is a completed load. So this has already been paid. So this is one way of looking on where to find it. If you were to make any edits, this is where you would edit, export, print, or email and fax in this location. So of course, before you mark these final, and before you mark them obviously paid, you want to review them and edit them in any manner or chance that you have. Once they are in paid status, which this one shows right here, it's in paid, the only way to edit this invoice is to, once it's marked for payment, is to actually void it in the settlements tab first. So if you missed the first week, week 1 of generating invoices and driver settlements, Christy did a fabulous job in her webinar of showing how to edit and delete an invoice and a dispatch, and how to recreate all of that. So we can send that to you, or you can view that very easily from going on trucklogics.com, clicking the support tab, and looking at all of our weekly webinars And you can pick that one and kind of revisit that if you have any questions on that. But this is one of the areas where you can see your invoice. The other where is absolutely through the dispatches. So if you click on all dispatches, now again, this was a dispatch, so we're going to go to all dispatches, and we're going to go down to that same one, so it's relatively familiar with you. And this is going to be the second place. We're just going to click on the dispatch now. And in here is where you can also get to that invoice through this, and it's going to be attached to the document. So right here shows that invoice. It should be the same one. This is where you can view it, print it. It does say that it's paid, and this is what it looks like. Okay. Again, you cannot edit this at this point because it is paid, but you can. This is option number 2 of where you can find that invoice. The other way is in our accounts section. You can go directly to invoices, and you can look at all of the options that you have here, and you can go to paid invoices. And right here, once again, a third direction of how to get to it. This is the same invoice. It takes you right to the load. Okay, so those are the 3 areas that you can find your invoices. There is, however, one more spot that some people like to do, and this is in your documents. Now, you would have to save this in your documents, but as you see here in this folder, I have a paid invoices folder. And once again, I keep all of my invoices right here. So you can, even though we have them in the loads, the dispatches, and the accounts, you can start a folder in TruckLogics, create your own name to it, and you can mark that whatever you want. And then, of course, this is the same invoice. And you can download it from here multiple ways. So there are the 3 or 4 different areas of how to get to the invoices in TruckLogics. So now let's start focusing on where your driver settlement would be, because a lot of times those are in the same general idea of what you're looking for when you're looking at your finances. So in your driver settlements, you can start at the dispatches. You're going to pull that, let's find the same one. So we're all relative, showing you the same info here today. Let's go to Dirt 1. This is that, so you go right in here, and the tab right here that I'm highlighting at the top, which I guess I'm not able to do, you can go right to that, and this is a driver settlement. Now this, again, created by TruckLogics. When you built this load, you created the invoice. TruckLogics created the invoice. When you create your dispatch and assign that driver, this is now where your settlement's going to have for the driver. Again, based off of the information that you put when you created the dispatch. So TruckLogics automatically creates this before you finalize it, and it comes to you in draft form, and you can edit it at any one time all the way up until you actually pay your driver what he has paid. And you can change all of this information simply by editing and so forth. But once it's paid, there's a process that you need to backtrack and go through to change this, but it is possible. All right, so this is one area where you can find your driver settlement. The other area is in here, the accounts, and there are multiple ways in here. The tab under, we have driver settlement. So if you wanted to go to your driver settlement, it's going to go right to here. And again, you can this one is paid. So let's look for under driver payments, and there it is. Drive 928. Looks like we paid John $227.90 for that dispatch. Okay. Here's another area where you can view and print that information, and everything is right here. Okay, so that's your driver settlement, and that's one way through the accounts that you can look for it. You can also look for it under your income transactions. And right here is all of the attached checks that he had: an accessorial fee, he had a fuel surcharge, and a mileage income. So all of those are in here as well, part of that expenses, so that you could go right to the expense transactions, and you can look or search John. And I don't see him on Hero, so let me see if I can search a different direction for him. So we just put John in here. Put year to date. And right here, down here is John's 2 payments. One for his, it looks like he had 2 fuel expenses in here. So those is another way that you can view expenses. And of course, you can edit them any which way you want down here with the edit buttons or expenses. You can also add expenses, import and export any of these expense transactions, but that is another way where you can find expense transactions. So you know, for your driver settlements. The last thing I'm going to show you today, because this is going to be a quick one, because we're just looking for where invoices and driver settlements appear, is over in the reporting section. You can actually pull a driver payment report with TruckLogics. And in that, you can look for your driver. You can search and filter by year. You can select with your driver. But I already see John down here. This is the $227.90 that we paid him. Right here in the action column, you can take a look at that. And that will pull up, again, the same information of basically what you paid him. So this is another way at the end of the year, you can kind of compile everything that you've done in one simple report of what you paid that driver. A little separate from the driver settlement, but this is a total. This would be a good area in the reporting section that you can find all of that information. Okay, so at that moment, let's go ahead and switch back over. I knew was going to be a quick, easy deal for us today, showing you where those are located. So at this time, does anybody have any questions? Now is your chance to ask me a question. Please do remain relative to today's topic about invoices and driver settlements. But if you have a question, we'll kind of go through that right here. And I'll give you a few minutes if anybody, oh, it does look like someone is typing here. Okay, yeah, we do have a question coming in here. It says, can you use the gear wheel? Okay, Jasmine has a question. Can you use the gear wheel to also get invoices? You see, that's a good, so the gear wheel, let's, you know what, I'm going to go back to the account. No, unfortunately, you cannot gain invoices through the gear wheel. Let me show you that. So up in the gear wheel, you were talking about or looking for an invoice number, payment terms, so forth, right here in the invoice section, I assume. And no, you cannot. You can't track any invoices here. But it's a great question that we should show you. This is where you would want to set up your invoice settings to either. It's going to ask you in TruckLogics when you create your load and dispatch for the first time if you want to enter them automatically or if you want to enter them manually. But this is a nice section in TruckLogics where you can actually set up your payment terms, your invoice taxes, your email settings. So this is a good area to say, hey, who all do I want to send the emails to? And then there's some other invoice settings here as well. It's set up reminders. You can do all of that through TruckLogics here in the gear wheel. You cannot search them, but here is the area for invoice preference and so forth. So you can set up reminders in TruckLogics. And let me see where that is. That based and right here. So you can go in here and set your invoice reminders however you want. You can set up reminders based off of 1 day. This is not working here. Or is it me? Yes, it was me. You can set up reminders that, hey, 2 days before we want a reminder that this invoice is due, or we need to make a driver payment. This is where you would set that all up, and it would send you an email, and of course you just add your recipients in here. You can do that 2 days before, a week before, or on every event. So the gear wheel is a great tool to navigate into your settings, basically customizing it how you want TruckLogics to work for you. Okay, So, but unfortunately, you could not find, we've got multiple ways to get to those invoices. The gear wheel is not one of them. Okay. Any other questions? Let's take a look here. All right. All right. Well, at this time, we're going to go ahead and go forward. Our next webinar, we do appreciate you joining today. And as a reminder, you do get a phone call, follow-up phone call from either James or myself following a webinar. If you signed up, we do automatically send those to you as well, in case you could not make the live version. And of course, you can find them, as I mentioned earlier, on TruckLogics.com. Under support, you can view all the webinars as well. Our next webinar is next week, starting a very new series. Next month is all going to be about accounting. So join us at 4 o'clock. All of our webinars are generally Thursdays at 4. But next week we're going to, what is the chain of accounts and how to use it. It's all about accounting month. In week 2, it's going to be automatic to your account, reoccurring deductions and expenses. Week 3 on the 19th is going to be income and expenses. What are they and where do we add them? And then, of course, we'll finalize the accounting with week 4, October 26th. It's going to be about how does the accounts tab connect to the reports. So continue to learn. We do love doing these webinars to help train clients. And we base all of these webinars based off of client questions, calling in for support, navigating issues, so forth, things like that. So if for some reason you did not start a free trial with us, or you do not have an account set up with us yet, welcome to TruckLogics, and you can go start your 15-day free trial. No credit card needed. You just start a free trial with us. You will get a welcome call. We'll offer a free demo to show you a little bit custom one-on-one screen share that we'd love to get you started, and we'd love our clients to be successful with TruckLogics as well. So you can start your free trial, go to TruckLogics.com, and also if you needed to get a hold of us, you see our phone number here, our support at TruckLogics, our wonderful support team, and or follow us at TruckLogics on any of your social medias down in the bottom right-hand corner. But TruckLogics.com, our phone number's on almost every screen there as well that you can get in touch with us. So that is going to conclude today's webinar. We appreciate you joining us, and keep in mind next month's all about accounting in TruckLogics. So appreciate you letting me provide this for you today. We'll see you next week. Take care.